somebody like Dave Chappelle, right? Mm-hmm. He enjoys being Dave Chappelle. He enjoys being a man, whatever it may be. But he makes jokes.
Well, I think his jokes are bad.
You think so?
His trans jokes are...
You think they could be better? Some of these guys look like Nazis, though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, Nazis had good aesthetic. Can you turn him, you think?
Into a sissy? Yes, of course.
Turn him into a sissy is crazy.
Yeah.
Boom. We got a special guest.
This is the fastest meeting someone and sitting down with them I've ever had in my entire life. Yeah. You're like a unicorn to me.
Oh my God, I love that.
You know why? Because I'm just going to do the full reveal now.
Yeah,
because they're like the build up, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Last week, Emma Rose, or like a week before last week, Emma Rose, we all know, transgender porn star, probably one of the hottest human beings on the planet.
I know,
period.
so fine.
You can
Icon.
even leave out the transgender part and be like just human. Smoke show. She's got a girlfriend, and they were like, hey, can my girlfriend come like shoot or podcast? And I'm literally will do anything for Emma. So Emma's like sends her girlfriend down. You show up. We're all hanging. We're bullshitting. Obviously, Emma Rose's girlfriend is trans. Right.
Yeah.
Within 3 minutes, I see her penis. I see the tits. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Everything I want.
You and I are all bullshitting the whole time. I'm like, oh, I'm just hanging out with a gay guy.
Yeah.
And then the conversation, like, I don't know how it turned, but instantly you're like, oh, I'm actually a trans man.
Yes. I out myself
I instantly,
quickly.
no offense to anyone in that room, could care less about anyone else except you then instantly.
Gag. Oh my God.
I know you get that kind of attention probably all the time, but for me, I'm around trans women a decent amount.
Totally.
It's like kind of when you have a trans conversation, it's mostly focused, I feel like, on trans women, right? It's always the man transitioning to a woman, and you're the first person I've ever come across.
Us, because that's what we see.
Right. Like, I'm a pedestrian, but I'm around a lot of sex and porn stars.
Oh, in the porn world, it's dominated by trans women,
Right.
for sure.
It's a man that transitions to a woman, and when you were like, oh my God, I'm a woman that transitioned to a man, I was like, damn.
They might be doing better jobs transitioning women to men.
The only other person I know is Elliot from the Umbrella Academy. The chick that became trans man.
I'm the worst at names. I know what you're talking about.
You don't know your own heroes, or is that not even a hero?
Well, I mean, that's interesting because I'm
Elliot Page. Sorry,
Elliot Page. Yeah. Oh, Elliot Page. Yes. I'm like old. Like, I've been around for so long. Like, I'm probably Elliot's idol.
Ooh, I mean,
totally, in that way, where
you're
like
my idol.
I've been doing porn for 13 years, so it's like I've been around for a really long time, and I think that like. Yeah, it's rare to hear about us.
You know why it's rare?
What do you mean about us? What you're saying?
The fact
you're
is,
saying that it's a woman into a man?
You're much more of a chameleon because I'm being real with you. You've transitioned better than I've matured, right? Like
I'm dead.
You look more masculine than I have titties.
My man said that he got...
Men have titties sometimes. It's okay. We love that.
But that's why, to me, Emma is so beautiful because I'm like... She's really right on that cusp where you're like, that's like, there's a lot of times you can tell when someone's transitioned.
Oh,
right?
totally.
But you're just flawless.
So you're basically the Tupac of the whole game.
Listen, I will totally take that 100%. Yeah. All eyes on me. I think that like, in porn, it's just we hear more about women in general.
Right.
So I think that like that is why you hear about and see trans women more because like who's consuming porn, right? Who's paying for it?
Because the women are more favored in that sense.
Yeah, because like
appeal-wise.
Because it's like if straight men are the people who are paying for porn, which is a large majority, you're going to be attracted to women, and that includes trans women. As opposed to gay world, sex is so different.
What makes sex so different in the gay world?
But isn't it weird?
Because it's just a bunch of dudes being dudes, and it's a lot easier to just fuck without having emotions.
Oh my God. I mean, I used to be a lesbian, and then I transitioned, and now I'm like a full-on
who gets laid more? The lesbian or the gay version?
Oh, see, here's the thing is like when you're a lesbian, like I feel like people fumble the bag every day because girls are so horny. And like when I was a lesbian, I was shocked at like the amount of cruising that happens between girls. Like I was visibly gay. So like I had a cute little swoopy haircut, and I was a butch lesbian in like 2007. So it was like a totally different time. Like queer people didn't look a certain way. So if you're visibly gay, people would act a certain way towards you, which I didn't give a fuck because.
Were you like more of a lipstick lesbian or like more butch?
I was more butch, but I've always been pretty feminine and masculine. So like I was butch, but I had like this. I was emo, so I had the swoop haircut, and I had the tattoos.
Basically what I have right now.
Yeah, I mean, low key, it was like very blue black, like box eye, but yeah, basically. And I feel like girls get so much play with each other because there's a lot of understanding of consent of what is sexy, as opposed to men really struggle to read in between the lines. Like, I'm a man and I'm really visual, right? Like, I'm a visual person, so you can talk sexy to me, but if you send me a picture of your hole, like, that's when I want to jerk off to, right? Like, I'm a...
Yeah, I don't jerk off to literature.
Yeah, but I feel like before I started taking testosterone, I was more of a, like, read between the lines kind of horny, where it was like I needed a little bit of a different approach to feel horny. And I feel like being a lesbian really showed me that, like, there is just a different level of sex between men versus between women. Because I fuck you know, like I have raunchy ass gay sex all the time.
See, that's why.
Well, can I ask a question? Because I'm tripped out, right?
Yeah.
So don't the gay guys want to see a pepine? They don't want to see the vagine?
No, I think with gay men, it's because I'm so many people's first experience, right? Like, because
you're like a unicorn.
You essentially have two buttholes.
Yeah, basically, except one I don't have to douche is always wet, and the one thing everybody has always told me my whole entire life is like, your cum tastes amazing. So like my pussy tastes Aquafina, like it is so good.
You're the next chapter of humanity, because think about this. I never want to hang out with girls. Imagine getting to hang out with the boys and still getting some pussy.
I mean, I've got to tell you,
you're a threat to all women.
That's a crazy, that's a double tier situation.
I feel like also it's like on the other side, I've had like, because I'm an escort, so I have straight guys and gay guys book me, right? A lot of the time straight guys like think that, and then I open the door and I'm like almost 6 feet tall and I've got like a deep voice and I'm hairy. I'm like, I've got a beard, and they're like, I thought I wanted this.
What do you guys do? Just play checkers then?
No, you know, the transaction happens. They can't get hard. They're like, I literally am not gay. And I'm like, that's okay. I totally understand. You thought that you were going to be into this and your dick is not working because you are into women. And I'm such a man that like, even if you're looking at a pussy.
How are you marketing yourself that they don't understand this from the gut?
Oh, I'm marketing myself only on gay websites.
Yeah, there's a difference between like talking flirty online and you know engaging in this, and then you open the door and you kind of have to face your decision. And you might be like a really good litmus test to find out if someone's like, am I gay or not? And then you're like,
yeah, but technically it's not really the case because you don't see the caca.
It doesn't matter because you're like, can I kiss a chick with a mustache?
And can you, because of how I like secondary sex characteristics, right? Like as an example, my sweat changed how it smelled when I started taking testosterone.
What do you smell like now?
I smell like a man. I smell like I used to smell sweet and delicate, and now I'm like sour. I smell like a fucking dude. Musty. And it's like, if you're into that, like gay men, and gay men on the opposite side, gay men book me and are like, I don't know if I'm going to get hard for a pussy, right? That's like the first thing that gay men say is like, I don't get, and I'm like, dude, you do poppers and suck dick and get fisted. Like you'd get hard for anybody who has tattoos and muscles. Like,
can I ask you another question?
Yeah,
that's a very psychological like thing for some people, right? Like
it's really psychological for people because like think about if you're a 50-year-old gay dude and you fought your whole fucking life because it was different for them, right? Yeah. You know, it was way different for them.
Of course.
You fought your whole life to be like, I'm gay. That is my identity. I love cock and I'm gay. And I love that. But like you fight so hard for that for 30 years, 40 years. You maybe have an ex-wife. You maybe had to give up your life
and kids
to
and
come
everything
out.
Else. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you meet me and I'm like, yeah, I have a pussy. And you're like, whoa, I'm on brick. I have no idea if I'm still gay or not. And I'm like, dude, if you like a dude, regardless of if he has a dick or not, like you're gay. Like at least a little gay.
Do you think at this point those terms even mean anything?
No. I think being trans, you see so much of like inside people. You see how they like literally. You see how they really are, because like when people come through my door, like it is a safe space. Like I'm cool. I'm gonna tell you if I don't fucking like.
I mean, you've dropped the word more than I normally would in an everyday conversation.
I mean, I suck dick for fun, so I feel like if you do that publicly and on camera, you're allowed to say it.
I've kissed enough guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I have way more homosexual tendencies than straight. Do you pee standing up in public restrooms, or do you go and sit down?
I can.
Or can you train yourself to fucking shoot?
I can pee standing up. So testosterone makes not all trans men have this experience. I'm going to talk about my experience.
Please.
When you take testosterone, your clit gets bigger.
Sweet.
And that's not for everyone. Like that doesn't happen for everyone.
He probably needs that.
Yeah. But for me, I went from like nothing to like, if I'm hard, I'm like 3 inches. Like my clit gets big for sure. If I'm hard at all, I cannot pee.
Wait, hold on. So 1 second, real quick.
Yeah.
Rewind, pause. Okay?
Yeah, no, please. Think
on,
about
1
it.
second.
Hold that thought in your
Because
mind.
a clit is a mini penis.
So you're saying that the clit grows.
Yes.
A clit is like everyone starts out as a woman biologically.
Exactly.
And then, you know, like my clit stopped growing.
Did you stay?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. That explains a lot, right?
The photo we took of you sitting down, I showed them and I was like, I look the same sitting down.
Yeah.
Like literally no difference. If you and I sat naked, they would probably think I'm more of a trans
because I'm trying to
woman.
understand, because I'm straight barbaric still.
Yeah,
like,
you're
this topic. I'm far away from this, so I got a lot of questions, bro.
You grew up penis, vagina, black and white.
Like, don't mind me. I'm a straight
course.
villager when it comes to this topic. This kid's been around at all. I still got to.
I love it.
I still need to understand how all this shit works. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah.
My bad.
It gets bigger, which means that like you can kind of lick it, but to get me off, you like need to suck my dick. Like you need to suck it.
But you categorize what is it? Is it a puss that has a clit that gets hard, or is it a pipine inside the puss?
You go like suck my dick, or you're like suck that clit.
Oh,
bitch.
I go suck my dick, because you've got to like also you've got to suck it to like make me come. So it's like if you're going like, that's not gonna do anything.
That's
it's
a usual
big.
Carvel visit.
That's
That's straight.
Maybe I
ice cream
should be
towel.
sucking clits.
That's
Maybe
straight
I'm
up
doing wrong.
I've got to tell you right now, a soft suck is great. Everybody, even sucking on pussy, not even just the clit. It's like there's a lot of nerve endings, and nobody is gonna.
Have you ever kicked somebody out because somebody was kissing it?
If you give me money, my tolerance for you is pretty.
So you
high.
like kiss it. It's fine, right?
You can kiss it. You can
but do you get bored?
Exactly.
Like just go to sleep? Like this guy's kissing it. Like I'm just tired. This is crazy.
Can you fake your orgasm?
Obviously. I can, but why? I mean, I can come multiple times. So like, why?
Oh, you're the ultimate man.
Yeah.
I come one time and fall asleep. You're in the end. You've got all the benefits of a woman and all the benefits of a man.
100%,
God damn it! You
100%.
just nut and keep coming.
Yeah.
Do you think it has something to do with the T levels?
I think it totally has to do with the testosterone, because like,
What are your T levels right now?
no idea.
What do you do? How do you take I don't know anything about that world.
So you basically take the least amount to get the most amount of results. And it depends on how big you are. Like I am almost 6 feet tall, so I have to take a little bit more than other people just because my body's bigger.
Right.
So I take 0.5 cc's once a week. That's going to start to give me secondary sex characteristics like facial hair. My voice is going to deepen.
Yeah, by the way, I was going to say, how did you get a beard better than most of my clients? I'm a barber. You got a better
I'm
beard
so
than
jealous.
What is that?
I'm like patchy.
That's
You look like
testosterone.
you look like Johnny Depp right now.
Oh my God, I love that.
You know what
Keep
I mean?
saying nice things to me. Oh my
So,
God.
but I'm saying, like, how do you get that? Like, how do you achieve a full-fledged beard?
Everybody in my family is hairy. Even before I
What
started
nationality
taking
are you, like,
testosterone,
Greek,
I had
Italian?
to
What
like
are
shave
you?
my face. I'm half Mexican,
when
half
you were
Russian.
when you were a
Half
woman,
Russian?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Half Mexican.
full Russian. When you were a chick, like through and through, did
I
you
was
have
so
facial
hairy.
hair?
Yeah, I was so hairy.
Okay.
I was already hairy. There
Were
was
you like
already
shit?
so
I
much.
should just be a dude at this point.
I had
It's
to
easier
shave
than-
my arms at least like once to. Well, I didn't have to. You don't have to do that. But like the full body shave twice a week was just like. That's
So is
too
this
much.
was this more of just like a decision to like just accept your hairiness, or were you like
It was. I mean, the hairiness definitely. Like the second I took testosterone, and I got hair on my ass. I was like, all right, we're all in. You just have to go for it.
I got a lot of testosterone, I think.
Yeah, and your T levels change as you age. Like sometimes you
It
get
gets
the
better,
second.
sometimes it gets worse, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you get like a second puberty.
I don't think I
symptoms.
could hang out and get drunk with you because I would probably try to have sex. Because I would just be like, yo, he's got pussy.
I mean, why would that be bad?
You know why that would be
you
bad?
have a girlfriend?
No, not even the girl.
I mean,
not
listen,
even the
she
girlfriend.
can watch. She can come.
Not even the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Trust me. If there's gonna be 3 pussies in the room with me, her, and
No, you literally.
You know
I don't know
why
why
it'd be-
you said.
you know
Oh,
what? You know, be
he
crazy.
has a pussy. You have a pussy too.
That's what I said. There'd be 3
exactly.
pussies. That's
Exactly.
man and him. But you know what the
perfect
crazy
three-way.
part is you're Louis C.K. did that joke back in the day. But the concept is like, what if I really love it, and then I'm like, how am I going to get more of it? The supply and demand of men with pussies has to be pretty low.
Do you ever get into a fight with somebody in your like in your community, right? And then somebody's like, "Shut up! You're not even really like," and then you're like,
No,
"Whoa." Nobody ever comes at you like
just
that.
show them your pussy and be like, you see this?
I'm everybody's daddy.
Oh shit, it's like that. It's straight zaddy, not even daddy.
Well, I mean that
With a Z.
that dick is mine. Like, imagine, like, I'm fucking you. I've never been fucked by a man.
What? You
Like-
stick the clit into me?
No, but it's
the
like
dick?
the dick. I've always
You're
owned.
saying by like energy.
Yeah,
you're
I've
piping.
always owned it. Like,
okay.
that dick is mine. Like, even if you try to fuck me aggressively, I'm kind of bored. Like, I can take a lot of dick. I'm pretty dominant. So most people don't fight with me because they just kind of want daddy's. You want daddy's approval. You want daddy's attention. You know. So like, most people don't really fight with me because they're like, well, I want daddy's pussy. Like,
Daddy's approval is crazy. That should be a Drake song. Daddy's approval.
Daddy's approval.
No,
is-
daddy's approval is fire.
Yeah,
track
that
name.
dick is mine instead of the boy is mine.
They should. You know he's dissing
It is
Kendrick and
mine.
everybody right now. He should do this song called "Daddy's Approval."
I mean, honestly,
No?
everybody wants daddy's approval.
It's crazy.
But if you came out and said that you fuck Drake,
Yo, by the way,
that would be the
real-
greatest PR move ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you?
And every other
anybody-
rapper would clown him for it. You would actually make, even if it wasn't real, everyone else would just fucking stack on it and be like, yeah.
Have you been called in by any upper class celebrities / maybe corporate people, maybe /
I've had, being an LA escort is crazy. You know, like, this is the upper, here in New York is like, for me, the most wild experiences I've ever had because you get a call, I have a screening process, like I do whatever. And then it's like, you know, I get the address, I can Google what the address looks like, but some of the houses I've been in, some of the couples I've fucked, some of the people that you meet, you know, one thing about me is I'm also a pro dom. So I'm a dominant. I do leather. I do sissy training.
What's sissy training?
So sissy training
That's
is where
crazy.
somebody enjoys acting like a sissy with a dominant.
What
Would
is
you-
acting
would
like
you
a
be down
sissy?
with
I just want to
Yeah.
know what that is.
So
I might have a title for what I like.
So
Yo, can you do
You're
sissy
thinking
training?
sissy training is...
sissy training is like, or sissy anything is basically an identity that is like outside of the trans identity. So it's not a trans identity.
It's like abuse me.
It's kind of like that, but it's like you like to be forced feminized. You want to wear certain types of clothing. It's a huge genre, so like there's many
that's
different.
I'm like a heart, basically. Like abuse me, I'm a sissy.
Abuse me, I'm a sissy, I'm a cocksucker, I'm a blah, 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 like all that. And I do that because I do fetish work.
Right.
I used to be a professional submissive as a girl. And I think because I worked so much through that, I saw so much, and I also met so many like really good doms that when I transitioned into a dude, most people who approach me don't want to fuck me. They want to be my bottom. They like want daddy to like, they want daddy. That is what they want from me.
Sorry for laughing. It's just so
No, they want daddy's approval. So I go to a
So
lot of these
good.
houses, and at first it's like, you know, the couples are at first like, well, we've never been with a trans man. We want to see blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cute. That's fine. And then
Cute is great because you're already putting them down.
yeah, I'm like, that's cute. That's great. And then I show up, and it's always like the dude wants to be put in panties. The girl, I'm going to fuck better than the dude because I have a pussy. Let's be real. Like, you don't know what you're doing. Most people don't know what they're doing. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to fuck your wife better than you can.
Right.
And then I'm going to turn you into my sissy little bitch, and you're going to eat my pussy, and that dick is mine. And that's a lot of my dynamics with people is I get, and it's like, it's fucking hard being married forever and keeping your shit spicy. And if you have all the money in the world, like...
It was hard when people were just having regular sex, right? But now, not only is the internet and social media, and you see what's outside of your little world, on top of like the fact that I'm sure, obviously, trans people have existed for,
Ever.
Forever. Now it's, on the forefront of pornography and sexual stimulation, that being married forever now is way more of a challenge than being married in like 1980, 1960, right? Because you just like, people don't even have a passport. You're just like, all right, you marry your high school sweetheart, and that was your grandma and grandma for the rest of your life.
Do you do poppers?
What is that?
Do you drink alcohol? Do you party? Do you do
once
drugs?
in a while, yeah. Okay. Recently, I've been slowing down.
I feel like poppers is like a big gay...
Wait, what's poppers?
Okay, poppers
is that like a candy?
No, poppers are something that you sniff, and what they do is they lower your blood pressure really quickly. So it feels like a mini roll. It's like, when you come up, and when you're rolling, and you come up and you have that first like goon experience where you're like, oh my God, this feels so good. It's like that, but maybe like 30 seconds. And a lot of gay...
You do them at parties.
Yeah, you do them at parties, but a lot of gay people use it because it loosens your pelvic floor, which your pelvic floor controls your asshole, right? So it basically makes your asshole go like this. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to get fucked by a big old dick and you don't want to wait like 10 minutes where you're like, put it in a little bit, you can just sniff some poppers and good to go.
Yeah, so you don't get hemorrhoids.
Or you can just take something bigger than,
Poppers is crazy. No, sissy training, all this stuff is insane for me.
Man, it just makes being gay sound so much more fun.
Being gay is so much more fun.
Yeah, because it's like, once again, women aren't involved. And there's that barrier.
Why don't you just do it?
No, because
like you say, like, because I like that you enjoy it. I'm just saying, I think you should get down with it.
No. Here's the thing. Because
I think you're almost there.
Look, it's like when you go look at like when you go book a train ticket on Amtrak, right? There's like the slow one, and then there's like Acela Express. Yeah. And that's how I'm like, being gay allows you to jump on the fast track to sex, because it's like, I feel like two guys are just meeting each other in the middle and being like, we can fuck anywhere. But with a girl, there's like, they have this whole societal pressure to not put up with pussy in the beginning. So it's like more of a dance. But being two guys to fuck is just more animalistic and raw, and it's so fucking like, that's what sex should be. That's why when you meet like a good hoe in a club and you get laid the same night, you're like, oh my God, I love her.
So what I'm saying, but like, since you said that, but why don't you just give it a go?
Give a gayness a go?
Yeah, I feel like because you
I don't like things in my butt.
Well, you just said it's fire. Have to be the bottom.
I could be the top.
You can also be like, I think the thing is, people have this idea of like what gay sex is, and like gay sex can be what, like, I've personally, one of the first gay sex experiences I had when I was like, starting to pass as a trans man, because I've been on testosterone since I was 19. So this shit took a real long time for me to look like this. And there was a moment where I looked like a clockably visible trans person, which it's called passability. Not everybody wants to pass. Passing means that you pass as like the gender you identify.
Why don't people want to pass? Just to not. Why are some people like, I don't want to pass?
Because it's not necessary to them.
What's
passing is like, you can look at someone, like if I ran into him at a bar, I'd be like, oh, this is a dude, right? But there's some people you run into, you're like, oh, that might be a former woman or a former man, so they don't pass as well, right? It's like visually you can understand that that's you don't get stamped with a body kit.
He's stamped. They're not stamped.
And there are two terms. There's transgender and cisgender, right? And transgender means that you are transitioning from the gender that you were born as. That you're transitioning. And cis, which is a science term, just means that you identify as you're just identifying as the thing that you were born as. So if you're born with a penis as a man and you now identify as a man with a penis, you're a cisgendered person, as opposed to a transgender person is transitioning. So when you're passing, like, not everybody wants to pass as a certain gender or needs to pass because it's not important to them. For me, I'm from an era where passing was like the difference between surviving and not. So like, I'm old, so the goal was always passing.
I would think it's scarier to be passable because
Well, it's like running a marathon but not finishing. You know what I mean?
No, but because I would be probably like, from a personal perspective, I would obviously want to be a passable transgender woman. But I think I would have to let a few signs go because I don't want to up in a situation where someone's going to fucking slit my throat. Because at the last minute, if, luckily, a woman might hit on you thinking you're a straight man, right? And what could she possibly do to hurt you, right? But if you're, a male who transitioned to a woman and some big dude thinks you're just an OG chick, they'll strangle you because they're like, I'm not gay.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, I don't think it's as like, I don't think it's that like, I don't think
have
it's
you ever
that
been in a
exact situation. But
I mean, you wouldn't freak out?
Trans.
What do you mean? Like, I mean, the woman, like, I don't think that's what they're worried about. You know what I mean?
You bring a hot chick home, Emma Rose, and she takes out her
right,
dick.
but Emma Rose would be like, yo, by the way,
but if
homie,
she didn't,
like,
that's what I'm saying is like, that's where the violence part comes from, right? Someone's like, oh, fuck, I'm not gay.
And instead of being like, I'm not into that, what happens is people just react, right? And like, I mean, there have been so many situations where people find out that I'm trans.
But do you hide it? You don't hide it.
No, I try to immediately out myself.
I mean, you definitely hide it from if I met you at a bar.
But like, if you're smart enough, you would be like, yo, homie, just letting you know this and that is happening. Instead of waiting to get to the house and then you get fucking put yourself in that situation. That's kind of like, not saying that it's justifiable that the person gets hurt, but at least like throw the layup and be like, yo, by the way, just letting you know this is what's the deal. So if you're having a good time, let's keep having a good time.
Sometimes there's just like, especially if you're in new experiences, like when I was younger and I had new experiences, like gay men didn't hit on me for a really long time because I looked...
Well, because you didn't pass.
Yeah. And then once I started passing, I worked at a bar and this guy would hit on me all the time. And then he found out I was trans, and he literally that day tried to like reach over the bar and beat the fuck out of me.
But did you say
because he felt
like
years?
I had been lying to him, and I was like, I'm not even trying to fuck you. Like, I'm working at a bar also, and you just hit on me. That's fucking crazy. But I'm also twice as big as you, and he was like 6 years old, so I beat his fucking ass and kicked him to the curb. I was like, get the fuck out of my bar.
He was 6 years old in the bar?
He was 60, yeah.
Oh, I was about to say 60.
Yeah, no, he was 60, but that's the thing is that panic that happens instead of being like, this is something I need to work on.
I mean, imagine being a 60-year-old gay man going through not acceptance most of your life, and then being just as
but he grew up in a different era.
A bigot. That just shows that bigotry can exist inside the oppressed community too, right?
Obviously,
right? 100%.
I'm just saying. It's wild to be like, oh my god, no one accepted me for who I am. What the fuck are you? What, right? And you're just like,
nah, that shit is Wild City. Honestly, the sissy training,
I'm still on it.
You're still on the sissy training.
Sissy training is also another good song for Sexy Red.
I feel
you know what I mean?
Well, and a lot of sissies like to be turned into sissies by women.
It's crazy. Like lock my pee in the box type of thing.
100%.
That's crazy. And open it in a few
I don't
years.
like that. Actually, I like locking people in boxes.
Yeah. Nah,
No.
chill. I'm trying to switch up now.
No. I don't want to be put in any position where I feel vulnerable.
You were just advocating real quick for the box.
You don't want to be in any position that makes you feel vulnerable?
Yeah, sexually.
That makes him vulnerable. That means he's...
That's so interesting because you know what my whole job is as a dom is to make people feel really vulnerable.
Yeah.
That is
and
my
you know
job.
what's happening next.
Yeah, and like,
this is like plug talk. We're going to fuck after this.
Oh, 100%. Well, I can make you come without even touching you. That is... You can go on my hands and ask any of my followers.
You can barely come even being touched, honestly.
But that's the thing is it's like I've fucked as a girl, I've fucked as a boy, I've fucked as a straight person, as a gay person. Right. I've had more sex than most people. I understand what is sexy. Because like I've straight up had sex as a femme presenting woman with a straight man. And sometimes it was hot and sometimes it wasn't. And I'd always be like, okay, you were great taking notes. You were trash, never doing that.
Let me ask you, since you're talking about that, do you ever have like moments of like, oh wow, I remember being like a chick and like looking like this. This was kind of dope. I would want to go back to that. Do you ever have that?
Well, I think that is different for every trans person. For me, I'm really unique in my experience because I fully identified, and I personally agree with this in my life. I identified.
No, I'm sure, but I'm saying you ever had moments where like, yo, I miss that. Like,
Yeah.
I miss looking like a chick and having like hair and like doing this and doing that.
There's certain things that there's a lot of privileges that you get transitioning into a man. There are certain things that I do miss all the time.
Oh, I like that honesty.
But being a man is so much better.
I do miss all the time. And part of it is how I interact with girls. And I think that is, for me, like, girls really go hard for each other. Like, it's a different world because girls all the time are doing things that you're not even aware of. When you're socialized as a woman, because I was like socialized as a girl to really keep things in line.
But they're also catty as fuck too, though.
Depends though. It depends on your experience. Have you been afforded that? You know, like for me, I grew up in a very Catholic household. I had to be very sit down, shut up, be quiet. You know, I did not get to be sassy. I did not get to be high femme performance, get all the things. So when I hit teenage years, I was like, oh, I want to experience all that, obviously, because like I didn't have that.
Because you wanted to manipulate the game a little bit.
What did your religious family think?
I don't talk to them. They're out of my life.
I feel like that's par for the course for anyone who chooses.
That's not true. Emma talks to her fam.
Emma's adopted.
No? Florida family did.
Emma Rose?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's adopted from Florida.
I think Emma's adopted. I don't remember.
I feel like with family, like I stopped talking to my extended family when I was like 13. I stopped and I got kicked out when I was 13. So like,
you have a Russian side and a Mexican side, right? The Russian
Both
side.
cultures do not fuck around with sexual identities like that. Russians are like,
that was the side of my family that was more I was in, you know, like my mom was adopted. So like my family was that Russian Catholic, very just like, you know.
my sister's gay.
Yeah, you fucking know.
But they were Russian Catholic or Christian Orthodox? Because the Mexicans are Catholic and the Russians are Christian Orthodox.
Same God.
Sure. No, I'm just saying because it is a little different. That's why I'm asking, because Russians are they're a little bit on the...
I don't know. I just remember going to church a lot.
Yeah.
My granddaddy was a deacon.
All that is
What's
just...
a deacon?
A deacon is as high as you can go in the Catholic Church while still being married.
Okay.
So you're talking about sucking God's dick, which I've got to tell you, I feel like a lot of my Dom personality, I'll like be saying things and I'm like, oh my God, this is your grandfather's voice. Like you are doing a sermon right now to this sissy sub in front of you and you are using the same way that he used to talk.
You?
Because yeah,
You channeled your fucking church?
Yeah, he was so
voice.
good at delivering these, like, you know, he was a deacon. He was so good at talking and making you feel like you were with God. And I'm like, oh, I'm talking about myself. Like, I'm like, God, that's amazing. I love that. He really influenced a lot of my Dom work.
I'm sure the church would be happy to hear.
I hope they are. I love the church. I did my first big gay scene. So I was the first trans man to do a gay porn in gay porn world. There was Buck Angel did Cirque Noir in like I think 2003, 2013, and then 10 years later, I made a film. So it took gay porn 10 years to include trans men. So Buck Angel made one, and then I made one, and the porn that I made, Mr. Pam made me sneak my ass into a motherfucking church in San Francisco.
That's so good. That's crazy. So good. Fuck religion.
She made me sneak into a church and she's like, you're gonna be a demon and blah blah blah. And I was like, you have no idea how deep the rabbit hole goes for me. I love this.
Well, yeah, you get to like, yeah, for you it's...
I love those kind of boundaries though to cross, because you know that it's inherently going to upset people too, right? To choosing the location you chose, right?
Oh yeah, and it was Mission Dolores.
I would have sent that video to my family.
Oh my God, it was Mission Dolores Park. It's one of the most busy, like revered, incredible churches.
Did you get a lot of hate for it?
I mean, I got a lot of hate for that porn because I was a trans man gay porn, and that was like so long ago. And I think that like when I was in porn, there was no right? And there were only a couple studios that booked. And people got upset because they're like, this isn't gay porn, you have a pussy.
What?
But
I would be the first person with a camera being like, do you understand how we have a unicorn? We can print money right now. There's so many just dudes with dicks and girls with pussies. We literally have Like, that's somebody dropping a golden egg in your lap and being like, just roll. Let's film all
but
this.
to them they have a different, like, you know, it's a cheat code.
Yeah.
You're like playing Grand Theft Auto and you just kind of did L2 R3 space real quick select.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
Like, to them they don't do that.
Never had anybody explain my pussy like that, but I will take that.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
You ever play Grand Theft Auto before?
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
absolutely.
You
No,
play
I
with
love
cheat
it.
codes?
Yeah,
I used to, because it would be fun to
is
take
very-
a
game
BMX
is-
bike and fucking shoot up all the way into the sky. You ever use that cheat code? That was one of the best ones.
I love. But yeah, I feel like that I was, that was like a big point in my career. Other than that, the way that people know about me is probably, we talked about it earlier, but my BuzzFeed article.
Wait, can we see that?
Can we see that real quick?
I want to see
Aaron?
this BuzzFeed article.
Pull up
Can you do
Victor-
a full screen so I can just read it real
Victor
quick?
Belmont, BuzzFeed.
All right, so this is on BuzzFeed. Meet the tattooed trans male escort who's setting hearts on fire. Say hello to Victor Belmont, a totally dreamy 25-year-old living in San Fran.
That's how old this is. I'm 33.
Scroll down. Is there anything else? There's no images available. BuzzFeed is out of business. We know that. This year, Belmont became the first trans man to win Best Newcomer. I wish they spelled newcomer.
I know.
At the Hookies, an award show that honors the best in male escorting. I didn't know there was an award show for hooking.
I'm an award-winning hooker.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah, I love that.
important. Yeah.
I know some.
Do you bring your
also
award? I would
in
literally wear
Brooklyn.
my awards like a general.
It looks like a Crash Bandicoot crystal. It's like giant and purple.
Have you ever put it inside you?
No, it is way
Crash
too big.
Bandicoot is crazy.
Yeah. Crash Bandicoot. It looks like a Crash Bandicoot. No, it's like literally this big. But I won that, and it was such a big.
How are these awards? Best hooker? Like, what do you? They ask you for your tax returns. Like, how do you rate the best hookers?
Your
Financially
reviews.
or review? Is there a website? Is there
Yeah,
Yelp for
so
hooking?
there was this incredible website called RIP to a Bad Bitch called Rent Boy. And Rent Boy the money was so good. The clients were great. But I got on Rent Boy and I was like I was maybe one of a couple trans men on that website. And when you're one of like thousands and thousands and you're the only guy who has a pussy, you're the one, right? Like, you really dominate
the space.
But that had never happened before. Like, a trans man had never really advertised on a website like that before. And I was doing social media at the time. I'm a photographer and videographer, so I was making my own content, and Tumblr was really popular. So
Tumblr was huge.
A lot of my photo sets, because I used a DSLR.
Oh, you were big on Tumblr then? Oh, yeah. You would crush it on Tumblr.
Huge on Tumblr. And people would see me, and I was a traveling escort, and they'd see my photo sets, and they'd be like, oh, you seem like you have a good vibe. And that was kind of how I started getting into, Rent Boy. And then they had this whole contest where you had to fan vote, and the best newcomer was a fan vote, right?
Rent Boy is a good name for the website, by the way.
Rent Boy was incredible.
Yeah, it's a good name. I'm not gonna lie to you.
When I got to the Hookies, all the gay dudes were pissed. Everybody was not being super nice to me. It was a different world. It was
Were they like, that's a fucking chick?
Yeah, it was just so different. And I won the award, and it was a big deal. Like, people were fucking upset.
Obviously, because that's the same thing as the Olympics right now. They're getting mad when the
Yeah,
trans
but
are winning awards in the woman category, but they're men. It's kind of like the same vibe. They're like, what the fuck?
But because it was a fan vote, that was the thing, is I was like, yo, I'm mad, but like, the metrics that you're using is a fan vote, and I won. So like, if you want,
too bad.
Yeah, and that was my attitude. I was just like, too bad. You should have done more on social media. You should have
played more PlayStation.
Yeah, period. And you should have gone on it. But the Hookies happened. That article came out. I was living in San Francisco, and I had no idea that article was gonna fucking come out. And I walk out of my fucking apartment. I'm looking kind of like this. I'm passable at this point, right? I open my door, and a girl on a bike points at me and says, "You're the trans man in that article." And then all fucking day, everyone's looking at me because it was like the article on the internet for one day.
Yeah.
Right. BuzzFeed at the time was fucking huge.
BuzzFeed was like Reddit. It was like,
and everywhere I went, everybody knows who I am.
Was it good or bad?
How does everybody know who I am? They know that I won a fucking hooker award. That was like...
You sound like the meme where it goes, everybody knows. Everybody knows.
But everybody knew. So this coy little smile. And for like a week, it was like people would come up to me and say crazy shit to me. And it was so wild to be like, work so hard to be like passable and to be like, you know, in the world, and then have this article come out and just out me. And that was the first time I experienced just having to be like, I'm trans, I have a pussy, I have to just accept it. The world is just like, you know, I was 25 at the time, so I was a baby.
How much of this were you, because I know you're like, oh, I love being naked all the time. How much of it is it you're okay being naked, and how much of it does it bother you when people maybe turn it into a parlor trick? Like if we go drinking, I'm going to be real with you. Like, I've only known you 2 days. If we count the actual hangouts, I feel very comfortable with you. We bust balls, we hang out. If I get drunk and I have friends hanging out, I'll be like, yo, you got to show me your pussy.
If you give me $5 each time,
I'll buy you a shot.
Yeah, 100.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, it's easy.
See, because if I had that, I'd be like, look, guys.
I mean, I love showing it off because also like
Can you do any tricks?
I mean,
can you smoke a cigarette out of it?
I can't smoke a cigarette out of it. No, I can't do. Honestly, my pussy is like
open a beer can.
I can't open a beer can. No, I can make people come in like under 90 seconds.
Damn.
You should.
Yeah, that's kind of
what do you keep pointing at me like you have fucking crazy stuff? You've been wifed up longer than I've been fucking.
Oh, I love that though. I mean, I'm saying I heard you say that you want to come really fast.
I don't want to come that fast. As a man, I don't want to come that fast. Why would you want the experience to be that quick?
I love edging. Do you know what edging is?
That's like when you're about to climax and you stop.
I love blowjob edging.
Yeah. Oh, I love that's
like,
what
blow me and get away for 5 minutes. Let's continue watching the movie. All right, come back.
Yeah, that's the best. Yeah, that's what I go for. That's what I make people do to me. I'm like, edge me in your mouth, like eat my pussy for 2 or 3 hours, especially when people see it. I feel like pussy's powerful, where it's like when somebody sees it, regardless of gay or straight, I'm like, it's wet, it's hard.
Yeah, you have the ultimate like white, you know, obviously not straight male privilege, but you still also get to carry a pussy around. It's really fucking.
You work out
every day. I worked out for 2 hours before I came here. Thank you.
Do most women that transition to men, they become slobby? Are they gross? Or like, because you're like a great looking dude.
I think it really is dependent on your body and what you do.
What's your competition like?
When
you go to a party, how many people there might be a dude with a pussy?
Sometimes I have. So like,
do you kick them out?
I love fucking other trans men, right? Out of all the boys, I love fucking other trans boys because it feels so powerful. Because like, I'm daddy, but like if I'm daddy to you, like you're the same thing as me. So I'm like the big dog, you know. I love that. I love being the big dog.
Yeah.
So like I went to a party recently where there were a bunch of other trans men, but like they kind of melt into me. It's not really competition. It's more like...
Do you guys get to let your guard down together and be like, oh, do you get to be a little softer? Can you get in touch with your feminine side in that moment?
And also it's so nice to be around other trans men because we have to do things that we don't talk about all the time. Like we're constantly having to survey the surroundings and make sure we're safe and be how we're being perceived. There's always this like external layer of like, for me, I don't care about being perceived as gay. So any feminine mannerisms, I'm like, I don't care, clock me as gay. But some trans men, they're like, they hate that. They're straight men. They want to like be perceived as straight men.
Right. They don't want no feminine nonsense. They want to just be straight.
Until you put your dick in
They want to be straight T-levels.
And then you're like, okay.
Let me ask you something.
You could be a girl with a dick.
When you fuck a trans woman, are you guys basically having straight sex?
I mean, when I'm fucking a trans woman, that's magic.
Yeah, it's basically OG sex.
Okay, so if you go to a doctor, do you go to a gyno, or do you go to like?
Oh, I'm poor. I don't go to the doctor. I have not been to.
But escorts make great money, no?
I get STI. I get STI tested at the LGBT clinic, so they don't have like primary care providers. Like I haven't had a medical provider ever.
Really?
Hell yeah, saving that money.
What about dentists? Like you go to
I don't go to the dentist.
Because you have pretty good set of teeth, right? So like you don't go to the
You're
dentist.
Probably the luckiest trans man I know.
Thank you. I feel very lucky.
So hold on.
No periods?
Testosterone makes it so that you don't.
Just spotting or nothing?
Nothing. I mean...
Birth control? Would you ever want to have kids?
Oh, yeah. But I mean, the thing is... Oh my God,
you could be like the movie Junior when Arnold Schwarzenegger is pregnant.
Well, trans men can have children. Like my friend...
Well, yeah, you're a trans man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Kids, so
yeah.
Like
if you have your uterus and you go off hormones long enough and you start ovulating, you can have a child.
Can I please do your photo shoot if you get pregnant?
We
already took one of the most iconic photos together.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the pregnancy, baby reveal, pictures would be nuts, honestly.
I would die to be in the room to watch you give birth.
I'm honestly, I love pregnant trans men. I've been around, I'm from the Bay Area where like queer people are just existing all the time, you know? And I've met a couple couples. Well, I have one friend who like, I was there and their friend, well, like my friend went off hormones. And then they were trying to get pregnant for a couple years, and then it happened. And then they had their fucking kid, and then they met their kid, and now their kid's like a fucking person.
Right.
Mind blown. For me, even. I was like mind blown, because then my friend went back on hormones.
Do you see those kids usually go into the same direction as the parents, or it depends?
No, their daughter is pretty... She is pretty
like just like standard.
She's pretty, honestly, she's like really sweet.
Just a chick. She's just like, I'm cool with you being.
She's pretty boring. You know, her parents are not in a mean way,
well,
but
I
like
get it. She just wants to be a chick for now.
Right, like who cares if the parts are switched, right? Because people will be like, oh, you know, that's like damaging. Imagine you saw your dad's pussy. I'm like, I saw my dad's dick in a locker room at the YMCA, and I was like, ew, why would why would I want to see any of my parents' genitals, whether they swap genders or not?
I mean,
it's
I wouldn't want to see
gross.
it, but it's...
If I saw my dad's, like, and all the Russian men in the banya, and you're like, I'd rather be staring at my dad's pussy, honestly, than my dad's penis.
I don't know if I can compare it to that, but yeah, I get it. Not seeing your dad's, like, genitals, definitely.
You'd be like, that's weird.
I don't know if I want to see the pussy or a cock. It just doesn't matter what it is.
I always want to see pussy.
It's just your parent.
I never really want to see dicks.
See, when I started, I was never into cock until I started testosterone. And the second I took testosterone, I was like, I want to suck dick.
So that's weird. You're like a gay straight man.
Oh, the second I started testosterone, I was like, I want to suck cock. That was never like a thing for me. I was never like, oh yeah, dick's the thing I want. And now I'm like, oh yeah, let me suck your cock from the back and like eat your hairy ass. I'm like, where did that come from? It's the tea. Tea makes you hella gay.
Shit. Okay, good. So I should take estrogen.
You should take estrogen, yeah.
But you said you wanted the gay thing is like...
No. There's it's like I want to fly private one day, right? Like I'd be like, there's things I definitely like. I'd be like, it'd be a great experience. It's just, I'm a visual guy, like you say, right? Yeah. But my visual is like, I love boobs and vaginas so much, and I don't think that's why I could be gay. I understand the gay experience. I've kissed men, right? That shit doesn't bother me. Probably 50% of it is pleasure and 50% is like...
You've never made out with a guy, though.
Yeah, I have. At camp. Little bartender. It was silly. Who cares?
It's
5 seconds. Like,
also, kissing is like...
Dude, who gives a fuck?
Whatever.
Like, I don't give a shit. I share joints. I share all this other shit.
I know.
Right? Like, are you kidding me? Like, what? Just to taste another man's tongue?
Right. No, I get it.
Like, yeah, sure, fine. Call me gay.
No, I'm saying, did you like it? I'm saying, did you like it? Would you do it again?
I would do it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because I don't attach... You said that
you're scared to
I just don't
like it.
You know what? I don't attach my identity to it, right? I'm just... me. I have a girlfriend, and if it's like we went drinking and it was silly and we had an Instagram, like I did it once for Instagram Reels because I knew. So there's a point when I had Slut Whisper, my Instagram account, where I was like one of the only influencers in the beginning. And so it was really easy and really fun for me to cross lines to piss off my own fans. And so because I would always chase that, everything's funny or nothing's funny, right? Make any joke. And people would really, really support that. And I would always put up like absurd memes to kind of get people upset. And then I was like, okay, the one thing I haven't done is really, really piss off the dudes that are like so macho. It's like I can take any joke. And I posted a video of me kissing a dude, and I think I lost like 20,000 followers. It made me so happy. It made me so happy because I was like, I found that line on them.
And I feel like with gay stuff, like that is when I started having gay sex, it was really kind of not as a joke, like because I saw clients and stuff, but when I started having gay sex as fun, I had a girlfriend at the time, and I had a couple gay boys who I hung out with because I worked at a gay bar. Yeah. And it was at first like, you're so handsome, let me just give you a little kiss. Like my intro to gayness was like a little, like I rubbed up on it a little bit. And then I was like, wait, because that's the thing is I feel like I'm very gay sexually, but I'm emotionally attracted to mostly women.
Can I ask you what you going to what you just said? Gay guys are very quick to be like, they meet in the grocery store and they're like, oh, I'll kiss the cacas
right now.
Literally just said. I'm saying like, how come in like the standard like, you know, when it's a guy and girl and they're just standard people, how come it takes so long to develop that like trust and to just go right in? You think it's because
men are idiots.
And women don't want to feel like whores, so they want you to work a little bit, right?
Or
the society has made a lot of women be
right.
like,
I want to hear what you're...
Let me take that back. She can't trust you to act a certain way, and that's why it doesn't happen.
What does that mean? She can't trust you to act a certain way. What does that mean?
With men in general, right? Because, okay, girls, as an example, are pretty quick to make out with each other, right?
Mm-hmm. I guess, yeah.
Because there's a level of trust of, I'm not going to cross a boundary. Men aren't good at reading nuances because they're very visual and literal. I'm on testosterone. The second I started taking testosterone, I became fucking literal. Like, I think testosterone just makes you be very black and white. Like, you have to have an answer. It has to. There's no reading between the lines.
It's like
but are there timid gay guys? Are there timid gay guys?
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're the exception to the rule because you're incredibly sexually free.
Yeah.
And trust me, you meet a bunch of girls that you meet at this house, you can get laid the same night here, right? Because they're sexually free. But statistically, I think...
But as a guy, you lose trust in that too, though. Because you're so used to women not being so sexually free.
And as an example, like, I have a gay boyfriend who is pretty bi, but he's like very effeminate, like very, very effeminate. He's got a big old dick. He's queen. He's a drag queen. You know, he's very safe for people to queen out and be effeminate. And there are times where we're hanging out with some of our girlfriends and they're literally like, I just want to suck a dick right now, and he's the community dick, you know? And it's like, but there's a level of safety because he's queer. And I think that is like, it's hard to explain because with straight men, there's like, it's...
rage.
And sex just feels a little different because queer sex feels different. I've had sex as a straight person. I've had sex as a gay person. And like, it does feel different. And I think when a girl feels allowed to express herself sexually safely, even if that's in a degrading ass way because that's what she wants,
right?
It's because she trusts you enough that you're not going to fumble the bag. And I feel like that's why, because men fumble the bag all the time on my girlfriends.
Yeah, because most men that are standard, just like straight men, they're not sexually free, so they don't have enough experience to act a certain way.
And can you look at somebody in the face while your hand's about to touch their pussy and be like, does this feel good?
Right.
You don't even
I'd
have
go to
to
jail if I said that at a bar.
But
no, I think he's saying that, like, do you have that confidence to be
I can
able
grab
to...
a gay guy's dick at a bar and probably not get slapped, right?
But it's also the thing of like, you have to be invited in and read between the lines, because I get picked up all the time by clients who have seen my profile and then they meet me out at a bar. But there's a line where I can cross where I can tell if they're going to be respectful or not. Like, I know that line where it's like, if you're just trying to grab at me, this is a no-go. We're not having casual sex here. You can't just give me money for what you want here. But if there's like a little bit of nuance, it's like, I think that's why...
It's a lot of reading you guys got going on.
It's a lot of reading, and it's also like, some people have it and some people don't. Like, I love when a girl feels safe enough with me to act like a slut. Like, as somebody who was slut shamed a lot as a girl, like, just because of my work and because of the type of person I was, like, I felt really bad about it. And then the people who would make me feel free about it, I felt so safe to be like, hey, I want to suck this dude's dick in front of you. And my partner would be like, oh yeah, go for it. I love that. Oh, that's so safe. Like, totally. That's so sexy. Tell me about it. In fact, like, squirt the cum on my face after, like, you have to be that safe person for somebody to act slutty.
Yeah, it's really hard to do that at a packed bar when you're loud trying to convince a girl to sleep with you the same night, right? There's just a lot. You either have to be famous to have a one-night stand or just be really good
and know what you bring to the table. Like, for me, I'm an incredible lover. I'm really nice. I'll feed you. I fuck you. Like,
do you understand if I whispered that into a girl's ear at a bar, she would literally call the cops? I'm a really good lover. I'm
an incredible lover. I'll kiss you and I'll feed you.
Well, if you deliver
it's a crazy line to start with.
If you deliver it like that, or is this a camera?
Yeah.
Is this? So if I look in this camera, so the line was, I'm a really good lover, and I'll feed you and I'll fuck you, and I'll send you home after in an Uber, and it's going to be okay. You can trust me. If you say it like that, you'll get what you want.
I'm going to try that.
But
I'm going to tell my girlfriend.
But yeah, right? Like
he almost fucking came in his pants.
But the thing is like my intention is I'm true, and my intention is
I usually walk into a bar and I say, hey, I'm an incredible herb. I don't really have much money to give you, but I do have some funnies here and there.
No, you walk in, you're like, I'm good looking.
And I have nice hair.
I have to walk in and be like, look at my Instagram.
And I have nice hair.
Yeah.
Might not be tall enough, but
I'll go up on you.
We'll have fun times.
It's
and he's been interrupting my monologue the whole time.
And it's sometimes
you don't have any trouble getting laid. I don't want to ever hear it from you.
Yeah, and it also depends on the context and where you're at, you know. I think that's what's so fun about being gay is like gay sex is so different where it's like I don't want to know your name. I want to see your dick.
I feel like it's like dick. DJs together in one room just like trying to play the turntables on each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
and I'm like sometimes all I need is to like pull my pants down for you to pull your pants down. You just stroke it a little for me and look at my pussy while I play with it. Like sometimes that's all I need. I don't need to come.
See, gay guys have like female privilege in that regard.
Yeah, you guys are
like you're like I can pull my pants down. I'm like you're more woman than man in that sentence.
This is as
because as a man pulls out his dick out, trust me.
This is as comfortable as it'll get for him. Like he can't really say anything else, but just sit there like that.
Where
and hopefully he sells himself. No, I'm saying with the shorts up.
Oh yeah, well you know I'm not trying to fuck today.
I'm saying if you were to sell it, like
if I were to sell it,
yeah, you really.
I get laid.
I mean,
I'm not downing it.
Yeah, I sell it a different way than you. You have to work with looks. I work on personality.
Yeah.
And it depends on where you're at and what you want. Like, I think it's always about the intention, right? Because it's like, if you're out at a bar, like, I've literally picked people up everywhere. If you're out at a bar, people are already trying to hook up at a bar.
They should have, like, a gay Ubers, like a subsection. You put a cheat code in, and then a gay Uber thing pops up, and then somebody drives the car. And
so you can suck their dick while they're...
No, because, like, it's like a mysterious Uber that picks you up, you know what I mean? Instead of, like, a bank bus, but it's like a mysterious Uber, and it's like...
Because
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, the Uber driver fantasy is real for me. I was like, oh yeah, gay Uber, great. Yeah, I love that.
Because like you said, you guys are so I think it's just so straightforward. I think it's just so straightforward. If you're leaving the club and you're like not with anything, and you guys are kind of very transparent, it's like very quick.
I mean, there's
Uber
so many
times.
Uber pool.
But it's a subsection. You have to type in a special code.
Whenever I wear full leather and I get in the car, every single time in LA, every single time. After a club, I'll be in full leather. So full leather daddy, chains and like whatever. I get in the car.
Straight Tuscan leather.
Yeah. And if it's a guy, usually at some point he's going to start saying sir. Where I realize that you want daddy's approval.
So an Indian guy, hello sir.
Where did you have a good night, sir?
Yo, you want daddy's approval is so crazy.
Yeah, honestly. Where are you going, sir? What do you need, sir?
Nah, this episode's gonna be called "You Want Daddy's Approval."
Yeah.
This shit is crazy, honestly. I need a remix.
Yeah,
I need
we're also
AI
putting
remix.
out a big vibe. Like if we're showing up in all leather, right? Like if a chick's walking down the street in all leather like you're like, that chick's down to fuck. Right? You're rarely going... Are you ever going out casual, or are you always going out like peacocking a little bit so people understand I fuck?
Do you have a little butt cheek, like you know, a lot of
chaps?
Yeah, the little chaps coming out. That's what
chaps?
you kind of pull up with?
Assless chaps?
No, I don't have assless. I want assless chaps. That shit's expensive.
I'll cut your pants.
Oh my God, dead.
I'll just give you 2 cheek holes.
I peacock most of the time if I'm going out to like a club or like, you know, but I think that's also exclusive to a gay experience, because if you show up looking basic to a gay club, it's like, why are you here?
What is the wildest stuff you've seen at a gay club? Like, do people just on the dance floor like tug of war, like kind of thing? Or like what goes on in these spots?
Let's talk about the Black Party. Do you know what the Black Party is? The Black Party is the biggest gay sex party in New York. And it happens once a year. And it happened after the Hookie Awards. So I won my award. And then it's a huge warehouse where there are different DJ rooms.
I just picture it being like the Mad Max. Like, you ever seen the movie Mad Max? I feel like everyone's just going.
It's dark. Very dark, very heavy techno. Everyone is fucking and pissing and fisting and doing drugs, and
that's insanity. Pissing is crazy.
I mean, piss play is the lightest, the easiest. So I was in a cage because I won an award. I had to be in the cage for an hour to like represent Rent Boy. So
Yo, pissing
They're
is
like,
so
there he
nuts.
is.
yeah, on display.
Do people piss on you?
No, I don't let people piss on me.
You don't
I
you
piss on other
people.
people. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love pissing on people, but I can't be
Same.
hard when I do it. Like I have to. It has to be like
Because you piss on yourself if you're hard.
yeah.
Wow, it's wild stuff, honestly.
So I was at
That
the,
looks like Diddy's white parties.
I was at the black party, and
Nah, that's wild though.
Those don't even look that crazy from here.
so
Those just look like a rave.
Yeah.
What's
Show
up
me
with
those
this?
guys.
What's up with this outfit? This is like
Which one?
a unified outfit right there with the
Oh, the
leather,
harness?
with the
No,
leather
one more down.
harness.
One more
What goes
down.
on with that? Is that like come here?
So
Like get over here, buddy.
There are a couple different types of harnesses. Harnesses signal that you're into leather. It's kind of like flagging. But when you're fucking somebody,
I feel like it's like Yu-Gi-Oh, bro. Like you guys got
hold
your own.
on to the harness so you can push them on your dick more.
I see what you're saying.
It's like a horse.
It's
So
a
it's like
horse.
handlebars.
Yeah.
But depending on the cut and style, it kind of determines your like, you know, like you can get a bulldog harness, which is the classic uniform. Like everyone has that one.
I would have like a Louis Vuitton harness, honestly.
Some of my leather
so
is
much cum
so
on it.
fancy. You do get a lot.
I'd
of
get
cum
like
on
a
it.
Goyard harness if I was part of that. I'd just-
Balenciaga's probably.
Just walk around with a crazy Goyard
Right.
harness.
I want like a helmet laying one.
but I would
want
also have
something
like gun
expensive.
straps next to it just to be like
Crazy
crazy.
straps.
Yeah.
Extra dildos.
Oh my god! Honestly, I would love that.
But have water guns in it. And then inside the water guns, Molly water. Boop, boop.
Molly-
Party time. You know what I'm
oh my
saying?
god! You're giving me some ideas.
Straight, have
you
a
might
good time.
be a better gay
Yeah.
than we know.
Straight, have a good time.
It's like-
Open up.
Yeah,
The
if I was
community
gay, I would
is
just
waiting
go all
for the
in.
products. You know,
Crazy?
it's gold. But I was at the black party, which is obviously crazy, you know. But let's take a couple steps back.
My bad.
I'm one of the only trans men at that party. So think about that. I'm in a cage, naked.
You're the only vagina there. That's wow.
Damn, I got.
Damn.
I just got like.
You're like a bored ape.
Yeah, and I'm like,
Very rare.
So
Not anymore.
Yo,
but-
you really are an NFT though. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's crazy.
Non-fuckable
Yo,
token.
We really can really
So I'm at the black party and I'm in this cage and I'm obviously observing what's going on. And this isn't the craziest thing that's happened to me. This is the craziest thing I've seen on the dance floor. So every 30 minutes, there's a different activation and it's fucking themed. And it's like coal miner themed this year. So there's
nuts.
like a theme every year. So every 30 minutes, it's like Disneyland. Like over the speakers, they're like, this performer and this performer fucking and fisting on the Blink stage. It's crazy. And then they light it. So it's like really high production.
Okay.
So they're like lighting these scenes in this huge warehouse every 30 minutes. And I literally see some dude like...
Is that even enjoyable though? Like, what are we doing, right? Like, some people
It's a
have
show at
all
that point.
long arms. Like, what are we doing, right?
Where's
it going?
I saw a shovel go in the not big end.
Wait,
Not
what
the
the?
home-
Which side?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
not the
what are
big
you,
end. Not the
crazy?
big end. Yeah.
We just
I mean, you
split
never
her-
know, bro. a lot
But-
of things happen in these places.
Different tools were being put into somebody's asshole on the dance floor at like 1:30 a.m. as I'm in this fucking cage, only pussy there. These look like jackals, like hyenas waiting me to come down from this cage. And I'm like, none of y'all are going to fuck me.
I mean, let me ask a question. At any point, do you like at least appreciate the silliness of your community?
I love how stupid it is.
Right?
We're
Like
so
you're like, I can
stupid.
respect it for whatever mature decisions you guys want to make, but also like, let's have a step back and be like, this is fucking
The favorite thing is when he just said, "We're so stupid."
I mean, what you're doing is essentially what I've seen at the box.
And it's like, it is.
You'd make a killing at the box.
What's the box?
You've never been to the box?
No, what's the
Are you crazy?
No, what's the box?
Joe Blood, you're wildin'. You're gonna really love
you're
this
gonna
shit.
lose it. So there's
Okay.
a venue in London and there's one in New York. It's called the Box.
Okay.
It's a nightclub. It's kind of designed like an old theater. You can
Yeah.
get bottle service. There's a bar, but every night there's a show. And everyone watches. A little curtain opens up, and it's like a woman will come out and like shit in a bucket. Like they'll do really sexual, crazy
Yeah,
acts.
there's the curtain right there.
Yeah, it's called The Box, and it's like still in Manhattan and still in London, and it's out of this world.
Oh, I gotta
Like you have to
perform
go
there.
and perform.
I
You
have
would
to
you
perform
would
there.
clean up.
lot of-
Imagine a regular nightclub. Like regular, normal people
Look how
from
sick
New York.
It looks dope.
It's so
Yeah,
dope.
pull up. Is there anything like it's so
It's crazy because I've never been to the box.
I used to go to the box all the time in New York because you're like, if I'm gonna go to a nightclub, like I'm gonna at least get a cool show. Like I don't give a fuck about just random hot girls drinking promoter vodka. Like I want to see a dude tie his dick in a knot and then get like hit with a brick. There's like blood. Like they really commit.
I love doing live sex shows. I'm really good at doing them because do you know what Folsom Street Fair is?
Though, excuse me, it's
Folsom Street Fair?
No.
Please pull up an image.
Don't tell me you guys are using like normal sounding names for things that are really crazy.
No, Folsom Street Fair.
Sounds like somewhere I'm gonna go buy like all earrings a girl made.
Oh, okay. FOLSOM.
So it's not. It's just a gangbang.
It is 10 city blocks.
Look at the chains.
During the daylight
Oh.
for 3 days. It's a leather fair. And you get to fuck in broad daylight. It's not gay. They're gay people, but it's like not a gay event.
It
It's
looks
leather
mostly
men.
gay.
It's not though, because when you're there, straight
this
people
shit
be
is wild,
fucking
bud.
outside all the time.
Some of these guys look like Nazis, though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
But
Well,
like,
Nazis had good aesthetic.
That's an SS soldier right there. No,
The Nazis would be much scarier if they looked like that.
no, I'm kidding.
but
obviously,
do you see how like somebody's being suspended in front of everybody? So there are different stages and performances and stuff like that.
Yeah, the hooks in the back thing always, I didn't get that one. But I am assuming that someone's just into like pain, right? Or something.
Yeah, some people are just really into
Nah,
pain.
if this guy
calling
came up
it a
to me-
street fair is
if this
kind of
dude-
aggressive, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's in the street.
It's like, yeah, I know, but
No,
it's like,
yeah.
it's
There
not
are
fair.
vendors.
What is
You
the-
can buy
come
a
on.
hot dog there
Okay, yeah, I'm sure I can buy a hot dog.
there's a lot of
For
things to buy.
$10.
So you
Hot
can get
dogs
funnel
are-
cake for $20.
No, I think you could buy
I
more.
think the street fair is a misrepresent. It's almost like
I
trying
think
to
you could buy a
soften.
lot of hot dogs there. You know what I
It should be
mean?
the Folsom Gangbang and maybe get a funnel cake. That should be the true name.
That is, listen. But Folsom
Crazy.
Street Fair, I was the first trans guy on their poster. And then I like danced main stage or danced the stage and then like did stuff at Folsom. And I grew up in doing sex shows like that, like in broad daylight. So I love doing them, especially when it's like not in the sunlight or outside or like I love a stage.
Not trying to
See,
get.
when people say that like trans people are just uncomfortable with who they are,
that's-
it's such a misconception because your ability to have public sex shows that you're not embarrassed of anything.
Oh,
right?
no.
Like would never have public sex.
You would never?
No.
Why?
Because I don't. First of all, there's
scared of-
nothing interesting about my sex. Like I don't. There's not a show.
Well, you're not really a performer during sex.
Dude, I'm a fucking pedestrian. Like, let's be real. Like, I run a clothing brand and I hang out with porn stars and do all this shit.
Yeah, but you don't
that's
get
not,
a-
I'm not that. That's not my art. That's not my
Yeah.
craft.
Yeah.
I don't take pride in it. I fuck because I'm horny.
Yeah.
It's like me and Estee aren't fucking swinging from the ceilings and doing all that crazy shit, right? It's just not who I am.
You're not, like, really animated with
I'm
the
definitely
sex.
more insecure of who I am than when the blame gets passed to someone who's decided to transition, right?
Yeah.
Like it's incredibly like I'm all for public sex. Estee and I, my girlfriend, you'll meet her.
We love
I
that.
think she'll be here later. We talked about going to Kinky Rabbit just to go watch. I want to go see public. I think it's fucking wild.
I
Yeah.
think public sex is really like it requires an audience. So that is something that like you need a good audience to have a good public
People like
sex show.
clap. Like what are they doing?
Just you need people's energy because you're doing something really vulnerable, right? Especially for me, like most of my public sex shows are me getting fucked, which is like, that is vulnerable for me. Like I'm a top. So me
Right.
getting fucked, people want to see that, but I'm doing that as an act and as a performance.
Are you exaggerating it? Because, like, listen, like my public sex with Estee, no one wants to hear me. Oh, your wife. Like, there's nothing I do that will, unless you're just there to laugh at me.
I mean, I love when people, because a lot of the public sex I've had is with trans women. So it's me getting fucked by a trans woman, which is like debatably one of the hottest things that you've ever seen. A trans man getting fucked by a trans woman is just like everything good all in once in one pretty little package. And I love doing it in front of people because it makes me feel like I get to show somebody that they've never seen.
You guys are like the modern day Marvel, like
You're superheroes.
people. I feel you guys are superheroes. Yep.
Or that movie where they trade, like
The
it's-
Lilo one?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's awesome.
I think it's great. And it's like also, it is really, like the first time I had T for T, which is trans for trans sex.
It's
I was
crazy
like,
how many terms you guys have.
Oh.
You realize that? You guys have your own like dictionary, bro.
We have to because it's coded. Because it's like, what if me and one of my sweethearts, like what if you see me and Emma standing in a grocery store and we want to cruise each other and like we
cruise each other? What is
like,
that?
just to pick each other up, right?
Yeah, pick each other up, and it's like 2 trans people can do that because it's a different world we're living in. Maybe we might know we're trans because we've talked on Grindr.
It's like you guys are in Harry Potter movie, bro.
Yeah,
you guys walk into a different train station.
I would need an almanac. Like, what did she just say?
And it's like, but you get to have that moment where it's like we are living outside of.
T for T is crazy though. Like I thought that's like, yo, we're gonna go to the gym. Let's spot each other. You know what I'm saying?
Essentially,
like
T for T is like, honestly,
crazy.
your body's made for mine. Like that is, it's so natural when you fuck another trans person because I just don't think, my mind is never like, you have a pussy, you're a woman. You have a dick, you're a man. My brain literally doesn't work like that.
right.
I'm like, do you smell like a dude? Do you sound like a dude? Do
Right.
you like? I'm attracted to secondary,
right.
so it's like T for T is really great because it's like I love getting fucked by girls,
Right. No.
and girl dick is just like the best.
Do you think, and is this my boomer mentality, that it would be more difficult for me to have known you as a woman than to have met you already transitioned? Because it's easier to kind of accept you, right? Because you're like, oh, this is my homie now. This is the only way I've known you. And it's hard. I guess people get caught up in like a nostalgia factor, right? Like Elliot Page transitioning, I'll be real with you. Like he did it in the middle of the Umbrella Academy. And you're like, oh my God, like that's... it's
that's from
almost
the Elliot Page from the Umbrella
yeah, when she
Academy.
was Ellen Page season 1
Oh,
and then
shit.
Elliot Page season 2, and maybe that's my fucking bigotry where I'm like, it just feels different.
I didn't know
I
that.
wish I was just new Elliot Page then. the
Yeah,
whole
same.
time.
I also once you already
becomes
cast
it's like
that,
when you recast
I'm
the
good,
cast
yeah.
member, you're like, oh my god, like we just recast my friend and now she's
That's
Viktor.
like Transformers. They had Shia LaBeouf. As soon as they put Mark Wahlberg, I love Mark Wahlberg, and I'm like, I'm good. You know what I mean? I don't need to watch this
I don't want to
anymore.
be part of the recasting process. I'd rather. It's like when they replaced the.
Yeah,
I
you kind of
just-
look like Shia LaBeouf a little bit.
Oh my god, thank you.
Shia LaBeouf is a beast. By
He's
the way.
so he's so handsome.
The best.
I'm like, listen.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No,
interrupt.
I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like with trans people, it really depends person to person. I think you're public, I've transitioned publicly online.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you look up photos of me 13 years ago, I look radically different than I do now. And I think it's easier when you meet somebody who's really sure of themselves. Like I've always been, regardless of what I look like, you meet me in person and you're like, oh, that's a guy who knows who he is.
Right.
Like I've always known who I am, regardless of my gender. And I think
That's great, though.
Yeah, that is just a personality thing. And I think that not all trans people have that. So I think if you're a trans person who has that, like, I feel
bad for those that don't. You know why? Because it becomes like you become a little lost in the sauce.
You
know
make
what I mean?
everybody has their fucking issue.
Yeah.
Everybody has their crux,
That's true.
right?
You're right.
I'm pretty, but I'm stupid, or I'm blah blah blah, or I'm
Yeah,
blah
like
blah
he
blah.
says he's
you
like
know?
very, but then he's ugly, and then I'm good looking, but I'm dumb. It's like
Everybody has their
those are
thing.
facts.
Those
Yeah.
are the stories that you tell
you're a
yourself.
woodpecker. Which one are you?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know either.
What does it
But
mean?
it just
What
sounds
type
good.
of- I don't even know that analogy.
It's easier if somebody's really sure of themselves, but if somebody's not sure of themselves and they're transitioning, you're learning with them, which means that somebody's not bringing you something. They're trying to do something with you, which means you're now a participant instead of just being like,
And a lot of people get freaked out.
yeah, instead of just being like, I accept this. This is who if somebody was just like, this is who I am. Look at me. I'm changing how I'm moving. I'm changing how I'm talking. You would respond with,
Right. If
Question.
some person's like, oh, this is the haircut I choose, you're like, all right, fine. I might not always understand it, but that's your new haircut.
Yeah.
But if someone's like, should I get my hair done this way? You're like, bro,
I don't,
stop. Come on.
Yeah, like
stay lesbian.
Question: what's the next phase of these transitions? Right now, people want to become a mermaid. Right? There's people that want that. I've seen that online. I've read about it.
Well-
so what is the next step?
You put 'em in the ocean,
Is
let
that
'em
as
drown.
technology progresses, we're going to start seeing more of that, you think? Or do you think that like a human stops at a certain point?
I think that what you're talking about is gender and sexuality and identity, which are 3 different things. So gender is who you go to bed as, right? It's who
Okay.
you are, is your gender, is who you go to bed as.
Okay.
Sexual orientation, sexuality is who you want to fuck
Preference, yeah.
and how you present yourself sexually.
Okay.
An identity is something that you choose.
There you go.
Clothes.
You just educated me on that.
Right,
There you
right.
go.
I make clothes.
Makes sense. Sorry.
I want
Okay, I
to
got
be
it.
a mermaid.
Okay, I got it.
A mermaid, and
Could be a straight mermaid.
but all of a sudden you're like, the gender identity is who you go to bed as. So if that is not, if you can't explain it as who you go to bed as, then it is something else.
Yeah.
And that's a different.
I also think the mermaid kind of shit is just thrown in there to make the conversation more cloudy about like trans world, right? They're like, oh, what next? You're going to be identify as a helicopter? You're like,
well, I didn't say it like that.
No, but
I just
mean,
see
like,
that there's different levels and tiers of things that extremes that people go to. So,
And right now we're living in a time of hyper individualism.
you saw the guy that wants to be a dragon or turn himself into a dog. What am I supposed to do with that? Like that's what he wanted to do. That's an extreme he took.
And that's his individualism.
Right.
It's like we live in a
feel me?
time where
So-
everybody wants these hyper individuals, and I think the trans stuff is just a really easy explanation for somebody wanting to take ownership of their individualism.
It's accountability.
it's
Yeah.
just like, oh, I'm changing something about myself, so I'm just going to call that trans.
Cool.
And
I was just
No,
wondering.
but do you
know?
think Val brought up a good point? Is there anything in your world, right? Like you said that gay man at the bar that wanted to punch you when he found out that you were trans, right? Do you think you're going to have sort of a natural reaction to something that you won't accept? Right? Like as society keeps going, you're going to become the old guy who's 60 and maybe be like, what the fuck? No way. That's not okay. Right? Whether you're right or wrong, do you see things where you're like, oh, fuck, like maybe I'm a little bit of a hater?
Oh, I have to challenge myself all the time because I'm also old. So like I'm not of the generation of...
But you're also not soft.
Yeah, so
That's
it's
the
like,
difference.
I come from a time where it's like even if it's uncomfortable, we can have a conversation to respect each other.
Right.
Even if
you
it's
can
uncomfortable.
agree to disagree with somebody.
Yeah.
But most people that are coming up right now have a little bit of an issue with that.
And that's because younger kids don't have to have like a great example of me is when I didn't know trans men existed until I was 19. I did not know they were a thing. I had no idea. And that's why I say I identified as a woman, because I literally had no idea trans men existed. I thought I was a woman. Like, I thought I was a butch lesbian. I thought that was my existence. And there was a bar called the E Room in Portland, Oregon, and it was a lesbian bar. And my friend told me to go there and look for this type of person because they thought that I might be like them. Mm-hmm. There was no internet. You couldn't look up trans man.
0 resources.
I had to find out from a friend to go to a fucking bar
like
to
Lord of the
see
Rings.
a fucking trans person.
It was a quest.
Yeah.
And then I had to go up to his ass and be a piece of shit
This shit sounds like World of Warcraft. It
and
really
just be
does.
like, what are you? Which is such an offensive ass fucking question because I don't know anything. I'm 19 with a fake ID and I'm just trying to figure out my identity. And he says, hi, my name is Gabriel. What's your name? Do you live here? And he had to kind of dog walk me of being like, I'm a fucking person. You can ask me some questions, but like, I'm a fucking person. And then we talked for a second. He's like, why are you talking to me? Like, why did you approach me? And I'm like, I see that you don't look like a man or a woman. And he's like, well, I identify as a trans man. This is what I am. And I was 19 years old. How I had to find out about trans men was that way. And everyone, it was that way. So there was no like it was so fucking different then. And it's like, now you get to Google something and you get to see videos. You get to see my videos. You get to see my videos from fucking 13 years ago.
It's crazy.
You know, so like I'm from such a different time that I think that my tolerance, but also I see things like, as an example, non-binary, right? That's a great example because you can be, do you know about non-binary?
I did no. I mean, I know the term. It's like, yes.
So
what does it mean?
Non-binary is an umbrella, and it basically means you don't identify as a man or a woman completely all the time. So it's like that.
So it depends on the weather.
So you're coming to me who has done all these things to appear a certain way, right? I've done all the things.
So you're the shaman.
I'm appearing binary, where binary is
he's choosing a lane.
I'm choosing a lane, and I'm like, do not think I'm in a different lane. I'm gonna be mad if you know, like, I want to be I'm a binary trans man, where I'm a fucking dude.
Yeah.
Like, I really am. I go home and one of my sweethearts made fun of me the other day because I don't cook. I'm like, a dude, I just order out, you know, I don't be cooking. Why, you know, like, I'm not cooking for myself. And I was like, yeah. And I do certain things that are just so dude-like, as opposed to non-binary people might want to identify more feminine one day, might want to appear more masculine another day.
Isn't that like the good evolution is like, kind of like one day I'm depressed, another day I'm happy. This day I feel like wearing a dress. That day I feel like fucking building a house.
And
there's no consistency with that kind of for you. That's a little bit like,
it's a shapeshifter.
Yeah.
And for me, I feel so not okay appearing certain ways that somebody else's comfort of being like, oh, I can just be this way and this be this way. At first, when I learned about non-binary folks, I had like a little bit of a reaction.
Ooh.
Where I was like, the fuck you mean you get to be in my spaces? Trans men aren't even acknowledged, and you get a fucking float?
Yeah, you guys get possessive because of the tribulation that you had to go through, right? So that's the crazy part about this whole sphere. It's like there's so many variables, and I just feel like
walked so they could run.
But that's kind of convenient to just be like, oh, I feel like this, I feel like that. I feel like that's a little bit of like, whoa, like, guys. Like,
and I mean, that's a product of like someone fighting for your rights ahead of you, right? Like, I didn't have to walk uphill 2 miles to school, right? Like, everyone before you suffered so you could do better. Like, we like to hold on to our suffering and be like, you should experience it a little bit too.
I hear that, but I also had a friend with bipolar, right? Mm-hmm. And he wakes up one day, he's my friend. The other day, he's like, fuck you, Val.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, dude, it's fuck you, Val, 6 days out of the week, and it's only 1 day out of the week. It's thank you, Val.
Yeah.
So I'm not really feeling that vibe. Like, what are we doing? What's the consistency in the friendship?
Yeah.
And I understand he's going through what he's going through, but I also can't take that on to myself 24/7 either. So it's like pick a lane, homie. Like,
well, he can't. It's a mental
disorder. I hear you, but I'm saying that's also. But then it's also unfair for me as well, right? So it's like,
well, you just got to make the decision. Imagine if 5 days out of the week it annoyed me that you were short. Right, you'd be like,
you would have to fire me.
Right, you would be like, I can't do anything about it. Right?
You would have to fire me.
Yeah, but that's my point. You just walk away.
Yeah,
you're like, yo, if this friend is not a good friend, sorry you're going through some shit, but like, life's too short. I'm not babysitting you.
Right.
And I think with non-binary folks, what it made me realize is because of the work that I did, they don't have to go through the same trauma, and that's when I realized, like, you know, to get a little personal, my dad would always be like, well, you didn't have to do that. So when I do the same thing and I hear my fucking dad's voice, well, you didn't have to do that. Well, you didn't have to go through the shit I went to. Well, you didn't have to. And I'm like, are you a fucking angry old man at the kids? Or are you just going to let the kids figure it out, experience with less fear, maybe, you know, have a nicer experience than you? I didn't have the best fucking experience transitioning and not being a non-passable trans person. That's probably why I have a reaction to that.
Most people are just selfish, right? Like, it's just like, if I had to do it, then you should do it, right? If all of a sudden I just got done paying off my student loans and they forgave someone else's tomorrow, people feel a certain way, even though, yes, that's good for society, it's moving forward, but you're like, man, I got fucked in this situation, so you feel a certain type of way, right? If you find out a girl gets to drink for free at a nightclub and a guy doesn't, people get angry about those kind of things.
Like, I built my barbershop up to a certain level, like how much money we make and what the tier we're on, how many clients come in. If I have another barber that's 19 years old come in and I teach him and he's just taking things for granted and he's not doing like what I have to work 10 times hard for, and I still have to clean up after him. It makes no sense to me.
And you have
to. What are we doing?
You have to teach them.
I don't need you. I don't need you here. I'd rather play the numbers game and find somebody that will be grateful and enjoy the process, and then I don't have to constantly tell them, hey, can you please?
Or
can you
do they not even know to be grateful? Because that's the thing I've experienced with some of these kids is I'm like a kid recently. So how I got my testosterone, you couldn't get prescribed it when I started it. So I went to Angel Cities, GeoCities, and got I ordered testosterone off of a website from Mexico, and I got my testosterone sent to me, and I had no idea what I was doing, and I was just for years injecting just random amounts. Because
you were literally a test dummy.
Yeah, where I was figuring out, I'd take it for a month at a certain dose. I'd be like, whoa, I feel fucking crazy. I'm going to lower it. And then I'd be like, oh, I also feel crazy. Maybe I need in between. And then after a year or two, I kind of figured out where I needed to be. Eventually, I did see a doctor and get blood work because now you can get it prescribed legally. But even things like that, I'll talk to I fucked a guy recently. He's 23, a trans guy. He's 23. He started transitioning when he was 11. And I was like, you've never experienced female puberty. Your experience is so different than mine, and you don't know shit.
Do you think they should experience female puberty to experience bodily function first and then decide?
No, but just in the way of your experience is so fucking different than mine that if I don't tell you what's my experience, you're literally just not gonna fucking know.
Right?
You're literally gonna not fucking know.
It's crazy.
And that is why I try to, with younger trans people or with non-binary people or whatever, is I continue to be daddy. I'm one of the only people who's still here, and that's why it's a lot of my friends have passed away. Trans people, we just fucking don't have it the same. We don't got the same opportunities. It's dangerous for us. So
yeah, I think that's why I was just literally sitting in my head. I think that we've, as a society, demonize even gay people still as sexual deviants in every aspect, right? Every trans person I've talked to is a sex industry worker.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe it's just, obviously because of where I work, but it's straight people just are like, oh, we could be doctors, we could be lawyers, we're contributing factors to society, right? And then they paint anyone that doesn't have straight sex as oh,
but our general is a trans right now. Our military general is a trans.
Yeah, and also I'm gonna say this where it's we're seeing this for the first time. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's huge. There's there's breakthroughs, so it's it's happening. You know what I mean?
None of this in any way bothers me. I've always believed that as long as you're not annoying me, I don't care what you do.
I think it's just what it is that a lot of people are more trans than we account for. A lot of people are more non-binary than we account for. It's very white Western colonial thought that we have one gender and one thing. It's a very new idea, right?
There's people out there doing all sorts of crazy shit, right? That doesn't even have titles. It's we're just meat suits with electricity.
Oh, you're just a meat suit and you want to either put something in a hole or have something put in your hole. It really is if you break it down. And I think that with trans stuff, what it does is it brings up so much of your sexuality, who you are, what you think being a man is, what you think being a woman is. And it breaks down every single barrier you have in 1 second. And it's about you. It's not fucking about me.
I get it.
Yeah. And that I think with trans stuff is where the reaction comes from, is that's where the negativity is. It's always about somebody else.
Everybody should be celebrated. Heterosexuals, transsexuals, whatever.
As long as you're not fucking
everybody
children.
should be.
As long as you don't fuck kids.
The whole thing is also, it's somebody like Dave Chappelle, right? Mm-hmm. He enjoys being Dave Chappelle. He enjoys being a man, whatever it may be, but he makes jokes. It's I get it, why people would get upset, because I guess there's more strides that need to happen and people are still kind of,
I think his jokes are bad.
You think so?
His trans jokes are...
You think they could be better?
Well, if you make a funny trans joke, do you know how many comedians have made trans jokes that are fucking hilarious? Where all of us are laughing, and I'm like, your trans jokes are an admittance that you book the girls and that you hate. And for us, it's really obvious. It's it's uncomfortable. Where it's
who would you say is a comedian that made some funny trans jokes?
Sarah Silverman has made a fucking... I'm pretty sure Sarah Silverman has made a funny joke. Is it
because it's a chick that's doing it, or just because the way she did it?
So as an example, if you know trans people, you know that we fucking clown ourselves all the trans people clown ourselves.
Most people don't know that.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Most people think that you guys are so serious about the community. And that's why the Dave Chappelle reaction kind of paints you guys as bad. Right, where they're I can't believe that they can't handle jokes, right? And everyone feels that trans people are very sensitive. Don't get me wrong, every trans person I've hung out with has literally, been the silliest human being around me.
And I think, there's also like, your trans experience is totally dictated by like the color of your skin and how much money you have.
Right.
So like the white exec worker who works at Google, who's gonna maybe have a different opinion than the person who's sucking dick for $100 who's working on Vermont Street. Like, that is two different experiences. One person is probably going to be able to take a joke in a different way because of where they're at, and how important it is.
Right.
And I think that
goes for everybody, I feel like.
Yeah, that goes for everybody. But I think that is with the trans joke thing, for me, it always comes down to like, your joke is bad. Like, if the joke is bad and you make a trans joke and you're not a trans person, it's like, it's exactly like making a joke about a group of people that you don't know anything about, and the joke just like doesn't land, and you're like, ooh,
right,
you're fucking bombing. Like,
I'm okay with bombing though. I'm okay. I like the fact that I don't like the fact when people take a comedian's jokes and then make them sound like statements. You're like, he's still a comedian, even if it's bad.
Yeah,
right. Like, there's tons of female comics that I don't find funny that someone else does, right? And there's tons of straight male comics that I don't find funny that someone went. It's all objective, realistically, right? The trans joke might not hit for you; it might hit for him, and a sex joke a chick tells might not hit that way and hit this way. It's comedy's the only one weird place where it's like there's so much more damage being done, at least I think, by lawmakers in this society than by...
I think a lot of attention could be easily directed to, because like the thing is, all the trans people I know don't give a fuck. We're like trying to survive. It's hard. I don't even know.
Last thing I want to care about.
I don't
but
know.
I also don't attach so much value. I hear Chappelle do jokes and I move on. Right? I don't carry it with me as like guys, like, did you hear this? Let's all pass it around.
I'm an immigrant, so if people make immigrant jokes, I'm not gonna keep calling my mom and be like, "Can you believe you said this?" Like, it is what it is.
And you're gonna go about your business. And I think it's like, it is taken so out of context, and it's like, the most marginalized voices are never heard. And like, that is real. It's like the people who are going to get upset on the internet, like the people who are having to do survival sex work do not have the time to be
correct.
Right. They're
upset.
too busy.
Exactly. You can't be a victim if you're working so hard to build your life.
And I think there is a balance where you can have accountability. Like, I've had full on conversations where somebody will ask me a question. I'm like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And I can say that to your face.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay. That's a normal conversation to have.
I'm well aware I'm an idiot most of the day. So like, I shouldn't be shocked when someone calls me out on it. I don't know enough about this world.
Yeah.
I'm having my own human experience, and it's probably wrong half the time. Have you done glory holes?
Oh, yeah.
That's a wild one to me. To not even know what the dick's associated to.
I feel like you would crush it in Amsterdam.
You what? Back your ass up against it?
It was so hot. I did it when I was like 22. I was such a bottom.
What is it? People just drill
You get
holes in the
splinters
wall?
like that? I don't know.
No, I just put my pussy up to the glory hole and I let somebody.
But it's usually a wooden like thing, or like it's.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, they lacquer it. I hope.
It's.
I mean, my brother, you're making it sound like it's the Ritz, bro.
Glory holes are different depending on where you're at. Like, I used to work at a video arcade.
What's that?
Whoa! A video arcade?
Yeah.
You guys had a glory hole there?
Taboo video in Portland, Oregon, back in the early 2000s. If you were there, you know.
What, they have like a pinball machine and then like an asshole?
No, so it was like a video store where you could walk around and buy sex toys, but you could also pay to go into the video booths. And as long as you were paying money to go into the video booths, you could jerk off. But there was like obviously a glory hole.
They had those in New York.
No.
The peep shows.
Where?
The peep show, you can go in and like jack off. Like all over New York, they had the little peep show.
But like, you can put your dick through. Like, there would be
at that
somebody
point, like the lines are blurred. Who's like, the cops aren't coming in. You're like, why are we going to turn down money?
At what point do you think it's very important to like control your sexual urges? Because like the guy that ran into your room and tried to hit you, like this guy obviously has no self control. What's going on?
But he came in there to be sexually like he's already.
He came in there wanting to get
he wasn't like picking up
but
milk.
That's crazy to not warn you though.
People be crazy. Desire does very strange things.
Well, they also think that they're like, I don't need to, like, they probably assume that you're crazier sometimes, right? Because you're just like, oh.
No, but that's, I get that.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, people also assume sex workers, and I'm literally, like, on Club Penguin, or, like, I'm
You're on a lot of websites.
You ever had a scary situation?
I don't even know any of these social medias.
Rent
Boy, Club Penguin.
You almost got kidnapped, or somebody tried to like be like, yo, listen, you coming with me, put a gun to your head, like,
I've gotten a couple moments, but I've always beaten the fuck out of them.
Oh, so you're on some like Bruce Lee shit, ready to go.
I'm the scariest thing.
You do jujitsu? You've ever trained fighting before?
When I was a kid, I did Aikido, and I got to go to Japan because I was so good at it.
Oh, wow. So you can really snap someone's neck.
And I just grew up fighting. I grew up, my dad's a boxer. I grew up fighting. So, like, when it comes to beating the fuck out of somebody, even if you got a knife, like, there's a certain point where you do have to be like, if somebody has a gun or a knife, don't get in the car, run away from them, try to beat them, like, just try to survive, right? Yeah. And that thing just takes over, where for me, I'm so calm and big that anytime situations have escalated, I just literally look at the person and I was like, that's not going to happen.
You don't know
baby.
what I'm capable of.
You have a little tear gas with you?
I became a man.
A lot of these people have so much to lose. Like, you have to think about who pays for sex workers.
So you won't get into somebody's Ultima that's barely driving?
Baby, I'm not going to get into a fucking stranger's car. That's crazy.
You ever ran into like a religious crazy person that like booked you and then just tried to convert you, or being like, yo, you should not do this. Like, I booked you, but like, I'm not here to fuck. I'm here to be like, you're a sinner.
Opposite, there's a gay preacher who is super into trans men. He like books all the trans men.
Right.
So of course I'm one of them. So he booked me. And he wanted to wear his reverend outfit while he ate my pussy. And he didn't want to convert me, but he did want to talk about God while that was happening. And that felt like a little, like having a third in the room that I didn't want. I was like,
yeah, let's not bring God into this right now.
Yeah, I feel that one. It's great.
It's wild having these conversations because you just realize we're all the same.
We are all the same. And I think that it's really important for you to be around trans men. I think trans men are really healing. I think that we hold a really special place where it's like you can ask me questions and like, you know, be around me in a different way, where it's all of a sudden like I'm a key.
As dumb as it sounds, like asset. I have a friend who works for SpaceX, and I ask him about rockets all the time. I'm sure he's tired of talking about it, but I'm like, I don't care about like your day to day as much. I'm like, tell me about
the rockets.
The rockets.
Are we going to the moon though? These conversations are so important. It's the things that I haven't seen. Like when I think about my work, because I haven't really gotten a huge payoff, right? Like I started doing.
We gotta fix that. The marketing department, you're a diamond in the rough here.
100%. I'm leaning in, baby. But like I did porn before OnlyFans. I'm doing OnlyFans, but I'm also not a 21-year-old twink, I love 21-year-old twinks, but that is the market to make money right now. So I'm in this gray area where I'm like, I'm really trying to make it, where I'm really open, and I'm one of the first ones. And it feels really crazy because it's like, you know, I have been in media doing interviews and doing stuff like this for 13 years. Like I've been trying for so long.
I mean, now is the time, right? With all the shit out there and how sexually free everyone is. And the fact that everyone, like, look, from a marketing angle, right now, everyone is chasing the next marketing stunt, right? It's like fucking Lena and Adam 22 had to invite a black dude into their relationship to break the internet. Remember? I don't know if you know Plug Talk guys.
I'm so bad at.
So Adam 22 is like this podcaster, does the rap podcasting, right? He's like super tied into the hip hop community.
Oh, so like music interviews.
Yeah, like he just talks to like people of the culture that he's involved in. But he also does a podcast with his wife called Plug Talk, and it's basically they interview a porn star and then they both fuck her. It's always a girl. That's their own hustle, right?
Yeah.
But they tried to break the internet, and I think they were the #1 fans video ever that was sold, because he was like, we're married, we have a child, and he goes, yo, I'm gonna let my wife have sex with Jason Love, a black porn star. And I think you could really capitalize right now on people who are like, yo, I'm already big, like huge porn stars, that you can enter their world and make a shit ton of money, because there might be like, yo, I've already fucked a white girl, I've already fucked a black girl, right? Like I need, what's the next, for lack of a better term, gimmick I can use to sell my fans.
Well, and that's how the internet porn works. Like
Right.
you do build off of, something that is already there.
Right. And you're so rare. Like, I'm telling you, you could be cleaning up in these streets.
Which I just shot with a cis woman for the first time in maybe 5 years. And I never thought that this would be a market. I'm queer, I'm bi, I shoot with everybody. If you've got a hole, I want to see it. Like, I'm very fluid and open. I get horny for everybody. And so I had somebody reach out to me and I was like, okay, Q, yeah, let's shoot. She's been in the industry forever. So I was like, oh, great. You're going to be easy to shoot with. And I realized that I was like, wait, has this happened? Like, have I seen this? Have I gone full circle where I'm about to do straight porn and that's going to be the thing where I have sex with cis women and that's the thing that pops me off? Like, I'm so gagged.
Just gotta just try everything.
You literally have to do everything and then see what sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this next month I've got a bunch of fun collabs, but most people want to see me fuck smaller trans men because I'm like almost 6 feet tall.
Right.
So most people are like, I like trans men. Now I want a big one and a small one.
Yeah.
I don't know if Val, you have more questions, but I have one last question.
I'm good.
Last question. What was the hardest thing to learn being a man? Like, I was going to say shaving your face because I still have trouble using a razor. Like, when you were like, I'm going to be, I feel like a guy. I'm going to transition to be a man. What was like, let some of these fucking ladies know some of the hard parts about being a man.
Well, the first thing is there is no girl or boy who's going to come save you. The first thing that you get with a man is there's nobody who's going to come save you.
Yeah, no one cares about you.
No, and in terms of being a woman, I still felt that way, but I could use certain tools to get what I wanted. And when those no longer become available, this is where the systematic privilege comes in. Boys are taught how to do everything, right? Girls aren't taught how to do anything. Or at least in my family, I was taught to cook and clean and shut up and be quiet. Didn't learn how to do taxes, didn't learn how to make money, didn't learn how to change a tire, I didn't learn how to build things. I didn't learn how to...
Well, you grew up in a different time,
that,
but right now
honestly.
the resources are endless for everybody, right?
Yeah.
So you can go on Google and figure everything out.
But for me, that is the jarring thing.
Me as a guy, I wasn't taught that either.
You were like Pinocchio.
I came here from Ukraine. Nobody told me shit. And I can't even ask my mom or my dad or anything. You know what I mean? I had to learn everything on my own.
But that is...
Yeah, but you were still a man, right? You still had inherently like male quality. You looked up to you
right,
knew
but I don't come home to anybody. Like he just said.
Yeah.
Oh, if I have a kid, I don't have parents that will help me. I live in LA. I have nothing. I can't.
You're a
I don't get help from
30-year-old
anyone.
man already.
Right. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, but I was saying what age did you transition?
19.
When I was 19.
Yeah, 19. You still had some guidance from your family.
No,
about life.
My parents are immigrants. They didn't know anything how to do anything here.
It's not about knowing how to do. I'm saying becoming a man.
Yeah, when I
didn't. Yeah, but my dad wasn't around. That's what I'm trying to tell you. My mom is the one that raised me and my brother. I had no guidance to be a man. I had to go and meet people like
that. Confirms what I'm saying.
Right. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I'm adding on to what you're talking about.
Because nobody teaches you that. Right. And it's also the thing that kills men.
Of course, because it's all the pressure.
They've created the problem.
Right, because you have pressure on your back 24/7.
Well, men, as a man, I like having it's going to sound 100%, but it's nice to have someone depend on you. Like having if my girlfriend could do everything on her own, I would feel inadequate.
That is your privilege and honor as a man. Something that I learned as a man is my job is to protect the divine feminine.
Right.
Period. That is my job. I have the privilege of being a man. I'm bigger and I'm stronger. Not saying that girls aren't strong, but I physically can hold more. I don't get as stressed out on testosterone. I don't have as much anxiety. Estrogen makes me feel like I have a lot of anxiety. There's certain things that I learned where it was like, it is my power to protect the divine feminine in my life. And that is something that nobody ever told me. But as I became more of a man, there are just certain things that I do where it's like, open the fucking door. If you can pay for it, fucking pay for it. Like, just certain things about being a provider. That's also the best part about being a man. It's like, I don't care about buying myself a cookie, but the girl I like, when I bought her a cookie and I saw how she felt about it, I was like, this is the best. I love being a boy. Like, this is one of the best parts about being a boy is protecting the small, pretty thing that you like.
Yeah.
And like, that is one of the best things about being a man is that I have the ability to go out and fucking get it. And that was something about being a man that was not taught to me that honestly the women in my life taught me. Because like a lot of the women in my life are...
molded you into the guy they wanted.
Yeah. In a really good way. Where I got a fucking... because I'm trans, I just gotta, this is what they all do wrong. Can you please do this right?
So you're the perfect man.
We need that.
That's the only way I find value.
You are lost if you do not have that. You need that. It's important. Even if it's an animal or like, you know, just tipping your favorite creator or whatever. The divine feminine in your life really gives you meaning, and like that is what you need to protect.
Dude, this was
great episode.
This was fucking amazing. Do you want to plug anything besides me?
All the time.
Or Val?
Both at the same time.
In that camera, if you got any social media, where they can find you, where maybe they can get a little massage in Koreatown that turns into Mortal Kombat, like Val says. Finish him.
I almost got that as a tramp stamp.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it would have been perfect. Yes.
You should get it above your...
I'm like, do I have one?
Are your nipples safe for Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy that those are technically OG female nipples. Did you have tits or were you like a flat-chested chick?
Oh, I had big old titties. I was a hot girl. I was serving body.
Really?
I got what I wanted.
Do you have a photo of you as or you that's deleted, gone?
Oh, totally deleted. I mean, in the way where I think like I had a T-Mobile sidekick, and that was the last time I had photos. Like that.
Emma Rose put up her transition video, and I was like, "You ever seen it? It's on her reels. It goes from when she was a guy." And she literally posted, it was like a slideshow quickly as a reel, and it's just like the full transition.
Wow.
And you're like, yeah, of course, Emma, you were a hot guy to start with too, right? Like, I can't be trans. Are you kidding me? People already think I'm a trans man.
Oh my God, Dad! The trans man solidarity.
People think I am trans. If I go out with you, they'll be like, oh, this is your trans man friend, Kirill. Be like, nope, stock man here.
If you do, 100% people will.
Yeah. I'll just wear like this. They'll be like, oh,
because this aesthetic is such trans man style.
I'm a trans man style?
Yeah, you've got trans man style.
I mean, I'm sure that joke like in the beginning of the episode.
No, I know, but like, she's like, do I have trans vibes?
You could give trans vibes. It's the
Do
drip.
I scream straight?
No.
It's so weird because like, I guess when you do look at it, it's hella gay, but
it's called drip.
It's drip?
Yeah, it's called drip. Like I know so many straight trans men who dress like this where it's like, because you're not wearing just a black t-shirt, you're wearing a Marilyn Manson t-shirt. You're not just wearing socks, you're wearing like cool orange socks that say assholes live forever. It's like not basic.
I just feel like I dress like a homeless clown. Like less about the trans side and more about like, I like Marilyn Manson. That screams what? That I'm open to like androgynous kind of like, I'm more...
Marilyn Manson was
also because it's tight.
Love
it's also because it's just a tight shirt too, right?
Yeah.
The tight shirt?
No, I think it's just the style where it's like also a lot of trans men I know are going through second adolescence where it's like when I was 14 years old, I like had a poster of Marilyn Manson in my bedroom. You know what I mean?
I didn't know I was letting off trans vibes this whole time.
I'm having a second adolescence always, so don't worry.
Val look straight, right?
What? Maybe not really.
Wait,
contextually, it depends.
If you saw Val at the bar and you saw me at the bar, who you'd clock me as trans, or you'd be like, that guy's just a little fucking gay? Be honest.
A little gay.
It's okay.
Yeah, a little. No, honestly, you're in LA. It's like you could be in Echo Park and be the straightest motherfucker on the planet.
But it all just depends on the weather. Once again, you know what I mean?
The context, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's like if I saw you at Equinox and you were doing like squats and short shorts, I'd be like, maybe gay.
So if I go to Hot Dog Sundays at El Cid with you,
somebody's going to try and suck your dick.
Like, is it true that as a straight man, I can go to like gay places and scoop up pussy? Or are they not really out there trying to do straight shit?
There's, it depends on where you go and who you are. Like, I have a friend he's like bi, but he gives off like straight guy vibes. And he always magically finds the one girl in the gay building. I'm like, how did you find the one straight girl in the gay building?
Guy knows what he's doing.
And he's just like, I don't know. I was just vibing. And I was like, it must be an energy thing. I don't know. But Hot Dog Sunday is gays. It's big, hairy gays, and you're gonna love it. It's so fun.
I might poop myself right now. I swear.
All right. Let's
Yeah,
wrap it up.
I love you guys. I just literally shit my pants.
Yeah, no, great exit. Great exit.
Do you have any ways to plug yourself?
So go ahead, like and subscribe. .com/Viktor Belmont, ViktorBelmont. Justforfans.com/Mr. Viktor. I'm Viktor Belmont on Twitter. I'm Viktor Belmont on Instagram. I'm Viktor Belmont on Kohl's Cash. You can find my Rent Masseur ad and my Rent Men ad. They're both Rent Man or Rent Masseur /
Kohl's Cash.
Kohl's Cash, yeah.
And also give
What's called like Kohl's the store.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I take Kohl's Cash as payment.
What is Wait a second.
Kohl's Cash
Kohl's
is-
like where I can
Kohl's
go buy
Cash is
t-shirt.
rewards, like
It's a
Amex.
rewards program.
So I can send you money through Kohl's Cash.
That's correct.
Is that like a secret money transfer?
I'm not going to blow us up. But
Okay, no,
maybe.
but that's just incredible.
Yeah. But, you can reach me on all those things or just cash at me, Viktor Belmont. That's my favorite.
There you go. I was gonna say give a Venmo.
Dude.
If you're gonna give all that, you got to give a Venmo.
Dude,
I'm a host, so I'm banned on Venmo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say most hoes are.
Yeah.
That's when you know you're dealing with a real hoe.
Upper echelon.
Yeah.
All right. It was great. Thank
you
you
can
for having me.
clap
Clap
us
us
out.
out. This was literally. I feel so much smarter and better as a person.